Hi guys, Natasha Tessier here with Dwell Realty and Design. Welcome to my channel, Living in Houston. I'm back to my casual self today. Usually I get dressed up to go to closings and to meet with clients and stuff, but most of the time I'm running around in a baseball cap and, doing my thing. So anyway, today I wanted to do living in Houston versus living in Montgomery. Hi there, I'm Natasha Tessier. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Living in Houston. My channel is anything and everything to do with the city of Houston. I was born and raised here. I've lived here pretty much my whole life. I keep getting further and further out. I've been in the city of Houston where my parents are in the Memorial area. Then I've been out to Tomball. I taught in Katy for several years. I used to coach volleyball, basketball, and track. And then I just recently moved out to Montgomery County. So today I thought it would be kind of cool because I have a lot of calls for Montgomery and the Woodlands, Conroe area right now. And so I thought it'd be cool to do a comparison of living in Montgomery versus living in the city of Houston. Okay, so number one, the first thing we're gonna talk about are the counties themselves. Harris County is all of Houston, okay? It's a huge, huge county. And then Montgomery County is all of kind of North Houston and out. And you can see that on the map. So they are run completely opposite. I've told you before, I do not talk politics on my channel. I don't want to get into politics. It's not a fun topic for me, but I do want to tell you that they are very differently run. So if you are like a lot of my clients and you're trying to get out of a certain situation, I have a lot of like California, Seattle, New York, Chicago, people trying to get away from whether it's different mandates or, whatever it is. Houston is very liberally run. So they have a new district attorney and things have definitely changed in Harris County since I was born. Montgomery County is the exact opposite. It is an extremely conservative county. It is one of the most conservative counties in the state of Texas. They've actually talked about trying to rezone it into part of Harris County because when it comes to voting and things like that, there's so much pull. So depending on which aspect of that you're on, you may want to live in Harris County, live in Montgomery County. So that's probably the biggest thing. I try to be very transparent. I'm not gonna sway you one way or the other. I just want you guys to know kind of what areas you're looking at. So that's one thing. The second thing I would say, obviously Harris County, you're talking the fourth largest city in the nation versus Montgomery's obviously a lot smaller. So it's a lot more crowded, a lot more traffic. Although if you're looking at a map where Egypt is, which is where Montgomery's kind of north of Egypt, that intersection can be crazy around 5 o'clock, I'm not gonna lie. However, there's a lot of space out in Montgomery. So you have a lot of tall trees out here. You have a lot of hills, and then of course you have the lake of Lake Conroe. In Houston, it's a lot of concrete. There's a lot of massive freeways and those kind of things. It's flat because it's closer to the Gulf of Mexico. So very different terrain. I would say a lot less traffic and a lot less freeways out in Montgomery, kind of more of your back road driving versus the city of Houston, you're on a freeway a lot. Affordability, so obviously just like anywhere, the further out you go, the more affordable it is. So if you're comparing two homes side by side in Montgomery versus the city of Houston, if you're in the city of Houston, say that Memorial area off of I-10, anywhere inside Loop 610, Bel Air, all those great areas down by Rice and stuff, it is extremely expensive to live down there. So whereas if you go out, let's see, I sold a 320 this week. It was a year-old home. It was 320,000, 2,200 square feet. I sold a 370. That was like a 500 square foot home. I sold a 399 with a pool out here in Montgomery. So that's gonna be really hard to find in the city of Houston, those type of homes. Also zoned to good areas and good schools. So Montgomery ISD as a whole is one of the best rated school districts in our state. If you go on HAR, I always tell my clients, go on HAR, look up a house, and then scroll to the bottom where you see the schools, and they will show you the ratings. So it'll tell you whether it's A, B, C, D, E, or F. And then from there, you can kind of see why and that's all based on standardized testing. So that's not just somebody coming in, subjectively and saying, oh, this school is an A. It's all standardized statewide testing. You can see everything you need to see on those. But Montgomery schools are very highly rated. And there's different, so Montgomery is the county and the city, but there are other cities in Montgomery County. So Magnolia is part of Montgomery County. Conroe is part of Montgomery County. The Woodlands is part of Montgomery County. So they're all still in the same county. Montgomery is its town and county. So I know that's confusing. So anyway, it's way more affordable, and I would say the suburb schools tend to be better rated, although there are a lot of people like the private schools in Houston, and there are still some public schools further in that are still very highly rated. So keep that in mind when you're looking, but definitely more affordable as you go out. So there's a lot of fine dining in the city of Houston. I mean, you've got 5-star steak restaurants everywhere. Steak 48 is like one of our favorites. But there's fine dining on every corner of Houston. The food here is amazing. I hear that all the time from my clients. There is great fine dining in Montgomery County. So the Woodlands has very high-end restaurants. Tris is one of them, True Lux. There's whole restaurant row, lots of restaurants out there. As you get out to the town of Montgomery though, you're gonna find kind of individually owned restaurants. Like our favorite place to go is Hodgepodge Lodge. It's in a 100-year-old house. Very good chef there, very good food. Not super high-end like attire and stuff, but kind of a great atmosphere. Or like the Cozy Grape. There's different restaurants out this way that is great dining. It's just not as high end, if that makes sense. So, and you probably have a lot more to choose from in the city. There's not, 20 different steakhouses around. Okay, so entertainment. Let's talk about entertainment. So if you go into the city of Houston, we go there if we want to go to an Astros game, if we want to go to a Texans game. There are musicals. There is a Broadway plays in downtown Houston that are fantastic. The aquarium, the Nassau Space Center. Discovery Green is a really, really cool place where they do outdoor concerts in the city of Houston. That's gonna kind of be some of your entertainment as you go into the city. As you come out, you're gonna have things like a farmer's market, a catfish festival. Let me think. We just did a wine and food festival in the town of Montgomery, a Christmas festival, parades. You're gonna have those kind of things out in Conroe and Montgomery versus, like the sports and stuff out here are just gonna be like your local high schools and stuff. They're not gonna have any, obviously professional entertainment and things like that. So let's talk about the weather. So obviously it's not that far. I am about an hour and a half from the coast, maybe an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. But so a couple things. The humidity is a little bit less out in Montgomery, but it's not something that you would take notice of. However, we get a really bad rap about our humidity. Today, the humidity's 37%. It was 48 degrees last night. It was a crisp fall morning. It's beautiful. However, when rain comes, obviously the humidity strikes up and it gets hot and steamy here in Houston, especially July and August. I've been very honest about that. It gets hot. But it's a little bit better, and it does get a little bit cooler in the winters. So my parents live in the city. I usually notice when we hit a cold front, maybe 5 degrees cooler out here. So that's kind of cool if you like a little bit more change of seasons. The bigger thing though with the weather is, let's talk about hurricanes. I get people who ask me all the time about hurricanes and tornadoes. Okay, tornadoes. I've lived here pretty much my whole life. I've never seen a tornado. I've never heard of anybody's house getting blown over by a tornado. When we lived in Alabama for a brief stint, that was a real deal every year. I'm sure they've happened here. Sometimes, they'll show on the news like, oh, there was a sighting of a tornado, but I've never seen a tornado come through the city of Houston or the outskirts and like blow over a whole town. Of course, it could happen, anything can happen. I've just never seen it. Not gonna tell you my age, but I've been here a long time and I've never seen it. Okay, so hurricanes. Obviously, if you're looking to live in, Pearland or, down by the coast, they get hit harder with hurricanes because they're 20 to 30 minutes from the coast. Us being an hour and a half to 2 hours, we'll get rain, but we don't get flooded with, I've never evacuated out in Northwest Houston because by the time the hurricane hits the land, it kind of calms down an hour and a half or 2 hours into like inland. There is flooding. It again gets a bad rap. I've never sold a flooded house. I would say 99% of the ones that we look at have not flooded. There are a few neighborhoods around, and I can definitely point those out if you're looking, that have flooded and they're known to flood. But for the most part, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a flooded house. All of that is disclosed in the state of Texas. Every seller has to fill out a seller's disclosure, tell you if it's in the 100-year floodplain, 500-year floodplain, whether it's ever flooded. All those things are disclosed, but again, it's not very common. So if you're looking at something and it looks like a brand new remodel and it's way cheaper than everything else, there's a good chance that it flooded. But for the most part, most of these houses have not flooded. So that's something else to keep in mind. So anyway, I hope that this comparison was helpful. Living in Montgomery versus living in Houston. Again, I've done both. I like both lifestyles. The older I get, the more space I want. We're actually building on 2 acres out here, and I just kind of like the land and the space the older I get. But some people love the city. A lot of my younger clients love to live in the heights and things like that. So there's great places there too. It just kind of depends on your cup of tea and what is important to you. So as always, if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want me to do a specific video, I have done property tax videos, school districts, master plan communities, all sorts of things. So I've done a ton of videos. So if you ever have a request for one, just message me. My cell phone is listed below. You can call or text me anytime. I talk to people all the time, try to keep up with, anything that they need. And then if you want me to put you on a home search, we can do that. Some people aren't ready till the spring or whatever. That's totally fine. We can just put you on a search. That way you can kind of watch the market, see what's happening. So if you have questions, call or text me. I'm Houston Realtor Natasha on Instagram. I'm Houston Realtor Natasha on TikTok, although I haven't been as good with TikTok. And then I'm just my name, Natasha Tessier on Facebook, or natashatessier@gmail if you prefer email. So I hope this video is helpful. I will keep producing a video every single week. On Friday is when we release them. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out and have a blessed day.